Welcome to the Golden Age of Cardboard podcast, where we remember a time when stacks of cards were held together with rubber bands and Mickey Mantles were put in bike spokes. We hope you will enjoy and reminisce as you come along with us as we tell stories about the baseball cards from the Golden Age of Baseball. We will examine the state of the vintage baseball card market and talk to some of the greatest collectors in the hobby. You won't be hearing us talk about any chrome or shiny cards here. Now, to take you on this retrospective journey, here's your host, direct from the shallow end of the gene pool, my son, Mike Moynihan.
Yo and hello everybody, my name is Mike. This is the Golden Age of Cardboard podcast. And if you came here, you were looking for vintage, and tonight you're going to get it because we are going to spend the next however long going through a bunch of cool cards. And my vintage experience, well, I'll talk about this in a minute, but it's super important. You know, we got, this is going to be a series. I'm going to bring on the guys that I'm going to be doing this journey with because they're my paisans, my card brothers, and it's Chris from Missouri and Ray from Philly, YouTube famous people. What's up, guys? How are y'all?
I'm good, Mike. How you doing?
Good.
Doing great, Mike. Doing great.
So the three of us have been talking about, I'm going to set this up because the three of us have been talking about this for a while in doing this series where we are going to go through a set that we all three happen to love and collect, and that is the 300 Great Cards of the 20th Century by Mike Payne. All three of us talk about it ad nauseum. I think people are sick of it, but what we're going to do tonight is show the cards. Like, we're going to show them in what we have and go through each decade. This is going to be the first of a series of videos that is going to rotate probably every few weeks. This is the inaugural episode. You'll see it on also Chris's YouTube channel, Chris from Missouri, and Ray from Philly's YouTube channel as we go through different decades. This will be 1950 to 1954. We had to break down the 50s into really half decades because there's 80 cards of the 300 are in the 50s. Let me start by asking each of you what you love about this set and what got you first interested in it. Ray, I'll start with you.
Well, I've been on YouTube since 2015, and I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as a direction to go. And I was surfing on YouTube, and lo and behold, Mr. Moynihan was doing this set, and a couple other people were also mentioning this book. And I love the history of the book, and it goes back to all the way from the beginning of the 20th century to the end. The stories for each card in the book is phenomenal, and it picks out a lot of not just the basic common sense cards like a 52 man or anything, but there's other cards on there from each decade that has a story as to why Mr. Payne picked certain cards in there. So I love the stories behind it, the history behind it, and it's just a great set.
Go ahead, Chris. What about you?
Okay. Well, I tell you what, you guys are who I need to blame for doing this set. When my wife introduced me to baseball cards on YouTube and baseball collectors on YouTube, the first person I saw, of course, Mike, was you. And then I saw you and Ray discussing this and I saw Ray showing some cards and putting them in a little plastic Tupperware dish. And I told my wife, I said, hey, I have some of these cards. So she got me the book. I started collecting the book or the cards in the book, and then I stopped. And then I don't know. I started back up again, and it's been one of the most fun things for me to do. I love the cards. I love the years. I love collecting what somebody else thinks is good as well, so I can learn from them, not just what I don't want to make a list of just what I collect. So it's been a fun journey for me.
So I just looked, and Ray, I did my first video about this set on April 18th, 2015. So
I know that video.
8.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I actually have very little gray in my beard. It's kind of weird to go back and I'm looking at it right now. It is like here for the people on YouTube. I will
The dark room.
the very dark. The room was bright. My it just looked dark. So here I am.
Yep, that's
I mean, I look like as much of a dope as I do now. For those of you
protection.
For those of you listening, you need to go check that out. It's, you know, one of my oldest videos, like my 4th or 5th video I ever did. So I had already been doing the set for a while.
Yep.
Several years, honestly, till I decided to do a YouTube video about it. And what attracted me to this set was it was a way to collect all the cards that like it had pretty much every card I would have wanted when I was a kid, right? And then some cards that really are kind of outside of the box, like I wouldn't have even thought of some of them, which we'll go through in future episodes and talk about them. And it was just a good structure. Like it just made sense to me. Like, okay, this gives me something to shoot for. You know, I think collectors, we gravitate towards having projects to do and wanting to complete them. And we, all three of us know none of us are going to complete this set because of some of the cards that are included in it, but it's a target. And so I initially started with 1960 and up. Like I said, look, I'm not going to get all these 50 cards and turn of the century cards and tobacco cards. I'm never going to get all those anyway. So I'm just going to do something that I could reasonably complete. And that was 60 and above. And it happened to be 300 of the cards were 60 and above, and half of them, of the 300, 150 of them are pre-1960. So we are going to do today. Well, anyway, point being, I ended up scrapping that and going, like, I'm going to get as many of them as I can, just because I wanted to dive into the 50s and get into that. And I started doing the set raw. I don't know if you guys did or not, but first of all, I didn't know anything about registries back then, but I just started doing them raw. And when I started to go, man, some of these cards are expensive. I don't want to get where I spend a lot of money on a card that I'm just not as comfortable deciphering. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it a reprint? You know, remember, we're talking really a decade ago, and I've learned so much in the last 10 years about vintage, but I was scared. And I said, I'm going to buy these in PSA graded. So I have a bunch of them actually twice. Some of the early ones I bought, I have a raw version and I have a graded version, but I'm totally on the graded side now. And there's a registry, all these things that we all three love about it. And, you know, registries are pseudo competitive, right? You know, typically you don't know, it's some anonymous person that has a better set than you, but Ray, I know where you are on the list and I know where Chris is, you know, it's kind of fun to see. At one point, I think, Ray, you and I were 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 or something like that. And then more people started entering the registry and blowing us out of the water, like making us look like we were chumps, you know?
Yeah, there's a couple hundred people now. And remember when we did this, there was only like 65 people in the set. Now it's a couple hundred of them.
Where are you on it? I don't even know where I think I'm 7th or something.
No, you're 5th. I'm 9th.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
and I am not on the set registry. I follow the registry list. I use the registry as a list, but I have like a Frankenstein version of some of this. And then I started, I had graded slabs already. And then when you guys introduced me to this book, I got into my keepsake boxes. And I pulled out some of these cards to send off to get graded. I probably would not have had I've not been introduced to this, but since I was, so you're going to see some examples of some lower grades, but I already had them, and it made it easier for me.
So when you guys think about it, I mean, obviously we all know we're not going to complete it, but what do you think is a reasonable number? What's your kind of target? Like, okay, I could get to this number of the 300, you know, without, you know, shooting my entire life savings, you know?
Well, and I thought a good number was 250, which I think you're already at. I think you're at 249.
I'm at 252, actually.
252. So right now, I can't say there's a target number because a couple years ago, I was aiming for 250, but I think as many as you can get. You know, if you can get to 275, 280, you know, whatever. I think, you know, as high as many as you can get, 270, 275 is fantastic. Fantastic number.
Ray, I have a target number.
Yours is what?
One more than Mike. That's my target number. I have a ways to go, but one more than Mike.
I love it. I hope you get one more than Mike. That would be awesome. And that's the cool thing is I'm not like when I see y'all show a card of that set, I'm super thrilled for you. I'm like, that is awesome, you know, because we're all friends, right? I mean, who cares? Like, it's not a competition. It's not a
right.
I was about to cuss, but I better not. Let's just say it's not an ego thing, right?
Right.
It's we're all brothers in the hobby, and we want it. It's cool that we share this, and we enjoy seeing each other get further along, and never jealousy. So I want to jump right into this. I think it's important. The set's broken, or the book is broken down. If you've never read it, Mike Payne wrote it. Former or current Beckett editor, writer, whatever he is now. He breaks it down and he shows the cards and he describes kind of why he thinks it's significant. He has a blurb about each card. Let me ask something else because I'm curious how you guys do it for everybody. So I use a spreadsheet to track where I am, and then we all have the book, right? I actually highlight in the book. I'll show you a page just as an example. I'll just find a page randomly. So in the book, I will highlight and put what grade I have of that particular card, because I can always buy a new book. Like, it's not like it's an expensive book, and it's my book, so I can write all over it and do whatever. So I highlight them, and it's kind of cool to go through the book. Oh, I have that whole page complete and look at what grades I have and stuff. How do you guys track it?
I use VCP. I put everything in the VCP. And because VCP, I love VCP because it'll not only track what I have, and I have a want list for that set registry, and I get notified when something goes on sale, and it also keeps track of the value of when I bought it and where it's at now. So I was thinking about doing an Excel spreadsheet, but I think VCP does it all for you.
And obviously we use the registry. The checklist is right there. We can all see it.
Right.
Mike, do you have another way that you do it?
Well,
I mean,
if you can,
Chris.
if you can see the dates on here, I told you that I restarted this. I stopped and restarted.
Right.
And so I write in the inside every so often when I pick up a few cards. And so I restarted it. It says here on 20th of September of 2022. And at that time I had 173 cards. And so I keep track all the way down. And so as of today, as of 9/27 was my last entry, I have 227 out of the 300 cards. And so I also, I put tape and stuff on the, that's how I put it on there. And then this kind of silly, Theo's going to make fun of me, or a couple of the guys are, but I put red tape on top. So when I look down in my Zion cases, as I get them out, I know this is one of the 300 great cards. So that made it easier for me today to get out these cards to show. So it's overkill, but it's how I do it. And I'm going to get me a new book, a different, like you say, it's not an expensive book, and what I call pretty it up a little bit as I get closer and make it look a little bit nicer. And I'll probably put a grade on the sticker, just like you do, Mike.
Ray, how do you store yours? Because I know for a while maybe you had them up on a display, right?
I have 2 display cases behind me, and I need a third one. But the ones that would be in a third one, I bought a Zion case, and it's in there. And me and Chris, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago about filing system for this, and you and I have talked about this relentless years ago of trying, because a lot of our sets cross over. Like, there's a lot of cards in the 300 set that's also in the post-war rookie Hall of Fame set. And you want to have, I like to have each set registry filed separately, but it's impossible. So, I have about 160 cards in the wall display case, and the rest is in the Zion. But I'm probably going to get another wall display case.
Very, very cool. Okay, so let's start going through the cards. We have a ton to go through today. Y'all are going to see some really cool stuff. It'll be interesting to see which ones we all have. There's obviously cards in this, list of by my team we don't agree with, or we like, why is that in there? But we'll kind of go through those. I think the first one that we're going to talk about is pretty obvious why it's in there. The 1950 Bowman Jackie Robinson. And
that's a tough one.
That's a toughie. It's a gorgeous card. It's Jackie's, second card, right? 49s
Right.
or his first, Bowman and Leaf, and then you have this 50. Obviously, it's kind of his second year. It's not his second year in the league, second card, right? So it's way more affordable, but still, this isn't cheap anymore, right?
Right.
Even in low grade. I mean, I have a 2.5, but I graded this myself, so I bought it raw, which made it way cheaper, and then I was able to get it graded, and I'm glad to have it. So
I would say that's my favorite of all the Jackies.
okay.
That's the number one. That's the number one of these cards that's gettable. That's on my list next. Is that Jackie, because again, in different sets that I collect, that meets a couple different some standards of some couple other sets. So
yeah, it's fascinating how pricey these get once you get. I'm at the point where I don't know that any of the cards that I need are under $1,000, and it's like, it's a lot harder to just. I can't just. There's no more low hanging fruit for me,
Right.
And I'm glad I have that Jackie. The next one, let's just do this on each card. Deserve to be in there, doesn't deserve to be in there. 50 Bowman Jackie.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Next up, 1950 Bowman Yogi Berra. Keep turning, Mike. You're so who's got the best one? I've got a 3.
I got a 2.
I'm trying to think what if we meld our sets together, like how much better could it be, right?
I thought of that too.
Like how cool would that be?
We might have it completed almost.
Ray, what do you think about this card quickly?
I love this card. This is it's I love catchers cards where they're in that catcher position. And for Yogi, this just totally epitomizes Yogi Berra to me.
Yeah.
The colors of 50 Bowman really pop. The background of the field is just a perfect card and definitely deserves to be in there.
Yogi's one of those guys that I'm surprised how many cards he has in this set,
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But no complaints about that one. All right. Next up, 1950 Bowman Ted Williams.
Whoa, 3 for 3.
3 for 3. Yeah, we got all of them. What's yours there, Chris?
Oh, it's a lower grade. 2.
Okay, I think we all have lower grade. Like I have a 3.5. It's not like
I have a 2.
Okay.
We'll see that. We'll see this pose again.
Right, in just a minute. Because I think it, and I didn't do the research to know, but as I was pulling all the cards for this video, there's a lot of 51 Bowmans represented.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's the most represented set in the 300. I think it is, but we'll start with card number 1 in that set, which
that surprised me.
Whitey Ford.
3 for 3 again.
So Whitey Ford rookie, absolutely. First card of a set's always tough. We'll see that place itself. That comes up more and more.
I got a 1.
I got a 3.
I got a 4.
Nice. So Chris is on the board.
I am on the board.
All right, we got the second card of Larry Yogi Berra that's in the set, and that's his 51 Bowman. And hey, we all have that one too. That's
3
awesome.
for 3.
And we're killing it. I've got a 4. You've got a 4, Chris.
Yeah.
I got a 1.5.
That is, I love his smile in that picture, right? I mean, I think if you know what that card looks like, you can picture it in your head. It's pretty awesome. Here's my first head scratcher, right? Is the early win 1951 Bowman.
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder why that's in there. Oh, Chris, you're not putting a card up.
I'm not a big early win fan.
Really?
But I want this card, of course.
So, Ray, you got a 5. You're winning.
I got a 5. This was one of my early pickups. That's why.
Yeah. This is actually a very gettable. Like a lot of these are, as you guys
This is
hear,
definitely gettable. Yeah.
Yeah.
An early win is doesn't get the hobby love. He's very undervalued in the hobby.
Yeah. Here's another head scratcher. But I remember this guy as an announcer, but Joe Garagiola, I have it in a 6.
5.5.
This was an early pickup for me because it was
Yeah.
so cheap, you know. But Joe Garagiola, I remember him from being an announcer on the Game of the Week when we were kids.
Game of the Week.
Love some of his quotes and sayings. He was great.
So maybe, I mean, I think this card might be in there because of that more than his playing career, which was pretty nondescript, right?
He's a Hall of Famer as an announcer. So
yeah,
we'll see him here in another card sometime when we do this, right?
We will.
I don't know.
No, Garagiola is not on anything else.
Isn't he interviewing?
Oh, he is.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
Good
guys.
catch. Good catch.
My bad. All right. Next up, 51 Bowman. We're keeping on the 51 Bowman train. We got probably the greatest left-handed pitcher of all time, Warren Spahn.
I have that card out being graded. Promise.
Nice. Ray, you got me on that one. I got a 4.
Nope, 3.
Okay. This has become a pricey card, the 51 Bowman.
This is a popular card in a lot of people love the pose on this in the background.
Well, yeah,
really
you love
nice
the high
looking
leg
card.
kick, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's so much to love about that card. I think it's rightfully in there.
His 50 card is the same pose, right?
Yeah. I'm so glad this card's in there, or at least a card of this player, and that's Larry Doby. 51 Bowman.
This is going to get graded.
Nice. So, Ray, you got a 5. See, together we'd have a killer set, right? We might be number 1 together. I only have it in a 3. But
it's an early pickup. That's why.
I'm so glad he's in that. He's represented in the set, and there are so many great Negro Leaguers that have cards in this set, and I'm glad that is recognized by Mr. Payne. Next up, same pose like you said, only this one has clouds. It's the Ted Williams 51 Bowman.
Don't have it.
Oh, BBG, get that crap out of here, Chris.
I'm gonna crack it.
So, but Ray, you have the 50 Bowman, so you really have this card. It's just
yeah. It's on my watch list for sure. It's a gettable card.
Yeah, I mean, they've all gotten a little more pricey, but all right. I may be the only one that has the next one.
Well, this one deserves a solo shot. Oh man. Oh
yeah. All right.
Yo, look at that.
51 Bowman, Mickey Mantle, rookie.
Sweet.
Mantle is easily the player most represented in the 300 grade card.
Yeah, I think Mikey has like 17 cards in there.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable.
That's
a beautiful card there, Mike.
He's the GOAT of the hobby. No question. Yeah, so another huge rookie card.
I love this card. Oh, man.
The Willie Mays rookie. Great card.
What's the grades on a Mike? What do you got? A 2 and Chris?
2.
Mine, I just love mine. Mine's pretty well centered. And,
is that a 1, Chris?
It's a 1.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I love pretty ones. There's nothing
I
wrong
think this one has a pinhole in it.
Okay.
And so
you can see it up in the corner.
So,
hey, Mr. Berra makes another appearance coming up here. 1951 Topps Redback Yogi.
There you go.
I love that we all have that card. I underrated set to me is 51 Topps. I think it just gets disregarded so much. And the Redback. So cool. I have that in a 6. So
4.
An SBC 4.
Okay. Next up, we're going to 50. That's the only 51 Topps card in there. Now we're going to 52 Bowman. Mr. Mantle. Paging Mr. Mantle.
Love that card.
1 second, please.
Great image of him. Here we go. So yeah, great card, expensive card, no doubt. I got that relatively recently in the last couple of years. What grade do you have there, Chris?
I have a 3.
An 8? We all win, right? Okay. Next up is a little Duke. There's a whole lot of, obviously there's lots of New Yorkers represented because New York was the hub of baseball back in the 50s, right?
Yep.
Love this pose. Love this card. 52. That was one of my early ones as well back in the day.
Yep.
Right.
Nice card.
How about 52 Bowman Willie Mays?
That's a new pickup for you, right, Mike, from this year's National?
It is.
That's nice.
The National
Sweet.
this year. It was the last. I needed both 52s, right? 52
Both.
Bowman.
Yeah, both you guys are really nicely centered.
Yeah, that was. I've gotten way
Clean.
more attentive of that recently. I'll take a low grade, but
absolutely.
Next, now we get into the classic 1952 Topps set, and card number 1.
Yeah, I'm close to getting this next.
Andy Pafko. This was last year's National. This was an Atlantic City pickup.
Yeah,
for me, and yeah, it's one of those cards that's very expensive for the player, right? But it's card number 1 in a very popular set.
Right.
Usually, finding these in high grade are very, very, very expensive, even though it's just Andy Pafko. But I like that there are cards like that in the set, and it's not all just superstars, right?
Right. I agree.
Okay, 52 Topps. Next up, the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto. Oh, Ray wins again. He's got a 4. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, great pose of Phil Rizzuto.
Got so much bigger than the Bowmans. I'm looking comparison, and the 52 Topps in general is a much bigger card than the average card.
Well, and you saw Bowman respond to that by making 53 Bowman color much bigger.
They sure did.
There was punch counter punch in the card world back in the 50s.
Bubblegum Wars.
Bubblegum Card War. Great book, by the way.
I'm reading that next.
Okay. You will learn so much, Ray, about what was going on.
I was telling Chris last night, that's my next book on my Amazon list is Bubblegum Wars.
Oh, it's so good. You learn so much. It's very well written. Okay. And it's easy read too. Next up, 52 Topps. Kind of the first kind of funny card, you've got the Gus Zernial, and the Zernial card famous for having the balls, stuck to the bat. And you're like, what the heck is going on here?
But it made me learn a little bit more about Gus Zernial. As a player, he was a hitter. He was a power hitter and stuff.
What this is the story with this, with the 6 base. The 6 baseballs, and he is supposed to be 60. He's holding the 6 balls on the right and the 0 with his hand. He was predicting he was going to hit 60 homers.
Ah, nice.
But he did have some power a couple of years.
And he's for the Philadelphia Athletics.
Yeah.
Yep. Never heard of him.
Never heard. All right. Next up, one of just so deserving card to be on this list, and that's the 1952 Topps Bob Feller. What a great card this is. I mean,
love the yellow background on this. Is awesome card.
Yeah, if you get the right card, it pops so much, right? I think Chris and I both have 4s. Gray has a 3, but such a great card.
Yeah.
And gettable too. Like that's not a
totally
expensive card. Speaking of gettable, guys like this that are in the set, Billy Martin, 1952 Topps. Obviously known incredibly as a manager, fiery manager, right? The diminutive Billy Martin. Anytime I see him, an old clip of him fighting with Reggie Jackson, it cracks me up because I'm like, God, Reggie could eat him as a snack.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard a lot of stories that Billy was a scrapper.
He was. he was sued for hurting someone in a fight in a baseball player. I forget who he hurt, but yeah,
Real
he's in a
quick,
fight all the time.
Since that's the last card of this set, 52 Tops, overrated or underrated, or properly rated by the hobby?
I don't know. I think it's slightly overrated.
Okay. Oh, I don't have that. There's 4 more 52 Topses that I don't have. So I forgot. We got the 52 Tops Willie Mays, which is such a good card.
Yeah, that's a tough card to get, and this is even tougher, of course.
The Mickey Mantle.
And a
Not
fake
real.
9. And a fake 9.
Oh man, I was gonna say.
If there's anybody watching or listening to this that doesn't know what the 52 Tops Mantle looks like, we have a death squad coming to your house to.
We're gonna revoke your card license.
Exactly. But that's going to be the last card I get for this set, most likely.
I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead. Eddie Matthews. Nice.
52 Tops Matthews. Man, that card is really going up.
This is a tough card, of course.
That's the last card in the set?
It is.
52.
And it's the most expensive, which most people don't realize, the most expensive post-war rookie card, because the 52 Tops Mantle is not a rookie. And
right.
So the Matthews is the most expensive one. And there's another card that I don't think any of us have, and that's the Jackie Robinson 52 Tops.
Right.
So that's on all of our
want
list.
The 50 and 52 Jackie Robinsons, I need those to complete the Jackie Robinson run.
Yeah.
So those are on my list, but oh gosh.
Well, let's get into some cards that hopefully we both have again, that all of us have again. Let's start with Bowman Color, which is, again, one of those all-time great sets. The Stan Musial. Just a fantastic, just kind of casual Musial in the dugout pose. Just a great card, right?
53
Beautiful
Bowman Color. Yep. Stand a man.
I think we all have the same grades.
I have a
Looks
3.
like that could be hung up in any art museum right there.
Yeah, I have a 3 as well. There's not many cards I'd want to get upgraded. Like, I don't really, once I have the card, I kind of move on to what I don't. I'd rather spend my money on what I don't have than upgrading something I already do. But this next card is definitely one of those. I have a PSA 3 in the 53 Bowman Color.
Me too.
Pee Wee Reese.
I got an SGC 4.5.
Now, my label, look at my label. This is a 0 label. This is an original.
Boy, that's old school right there.
That's a real old school label.
Would you consider crossing that, or like crossing it just into the new holder? Lighthouse?
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
I think you should. I think it'd look way better than the Lighthouse holder.
Definitely.
Mine starts with a 1, so it's also very old. But I wouldn't mind getting a 5 or a 6 on this card at some point down the road. But for now, I'm content with what I have. Okay, we're on the second half. We're well into the second half. We're still in 53 Bowman Color, though. 53 Bowman Color did something that had never really been done before, and that's multiplayer cards, combo cards. And there's plenty of them on this top 300. The first one is the Barra Bauer Mantle 53 Bowman Color.
Nice card.
It's a great card. I have it in a 5, which is pretty good, actually.
I have a 2.
I have a 3.
Yeah, great card. Kind of that. Yep. We'll see another one of those here in a minute, I think. Is the nope, the other one, the Rizzuto Barras or the Rizzuto Martin's not in this set, is it?
No.
This one is another Mantle, 53
Bowman Mantle.
It's one of my favorite cards in my collection right there.
Really?
Yeah,
just because of the pose or what?
I'm starting to admire the 53 color more. And so I like a lot of Mantle stuff, but since I have one in the color of the year that I like, that's why I like it so much.
What grades are your guys you have?
A 2.
I have a 3.
Okay.
That was a Chicago 2 years ago purchase.
This was a 12-year-old Chris purchase. The little yellow that I keep on my card reminds me that I got it out of a a ladies' collection, Miss Dufresne, gave me this card.
Nice.
You know, not the only. A few of these cards came from her.
Well, here's another card number 1 in a set. We're moving on to 53 tops, and we've got Jackie Robinson.
I love that card. The Brooklyn Bridge in the background.
Yeah. So cool. I bought this a long time ago. That's the only reason I have a 4. You know, I couldn't afford a 4 now, or wouldn't want to. But
Nicest set of the 50s, in your opinion, guys? You think so? I like the 54 tops, but 53s are very, very close second for me.
If you look at these cards in the top in the 300 great cards, when I got the 54s out and had them in a row, man, they looked really impressive.
Yeah, that's
the
and Mike just
top.
did a 53 Hall of Fame display, and man, they were just like popping.
Yeah, I think 53 is the best year of cards between Bowman color and tops. If you combine it all together, 54 Bowman is not nearly as good as 53 Bowman.
Right.
Still a great set, but I actually like 54 tops better than 53. But I think together, 53 is the best year.
The whole year in general. Yep.
Some 53s. How about Mickey Mantle 53 tops?
Doable card, definitely doable.
You have a 4.
Whoa, Chris.
Yeah.
Slam dunk.
Chris is making it look silly compared to my 1.5. But that's maybe my favorite Mantle card is 53. 56 is pretty close second, you know, or maybe it's hard to pick a bad 50s Mantle card, right?
Right.
His cards in the 50s are pretty good. Next up, another appearance by Larry Yogi Berra.
I have one in the SGC 1.
Yeah, I've got a 2. Ray's got a 3. So it'd be kind of cool if we were all together and we happened to have all our cards, like to lay them all out together. That would just be so cool. And like stack them next to each, like you'd stack all our Berras together and just put the best graded one on the top, and then you'd kind of go through. Next up, again, another card. He's got 2 cards in this set, but it's the legendary pitcher Leroy Satchel Paige, and it's so awesome that all 3 of us have this card. Wow, I bought this so long ago. I was able to get a 5.
Yeah,
Right.
Can't do that now. This card's wow.
Yeah, it's gotten incredibly popular through the boom.
Yeah,
and stayed there. You know, it's one of those that has stayed pretty popular.
That 53 Satchel, one of my worst card mistakes. I had 4 of them at one time, all in raw form, and it was I used them to get other, for currency to get other cards. But man, I wish, but everybody makes mistakes every once in a while. They'd like to
God,
take
yeah.
back.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next one I think he's going to show is this Willie Mays right here.
Yeah.
Now, this Willie Mays is special to me. If you see, they got little tape marks up here, Ray. You see that?
Yep.
And I got this from a dealer that passed away at the Lake of the Ozarks. And look at Mike's though. That thing is sharp. But this
Sharp.
Not bad for a 1.5, right?
No, not at all.
Not bad.
Definitely just goes to show you especially when it comes to vintage, you can get a 1. There's ones that look like they got run over by a truck, but there's ones out there that look great.
Yeah, and somebody collects pinholes in cards. There's a guy out there, Mookie Chilson, that collects cards with pinholes. But some of these older cards, they get a 1 automatically, right? If they get a pinhole or something in it, and you can get a beautiful card if you don't mind looking at that 1 that's on that slab. And I don't care about that. I don't look at that slab very often.
Right. I have a few of those in my collection, and I'm happy to own them. So next up, 1954 Bowman Nelson Fox. And I think this is Nellie Fox's only card in the 300 cards.
Yeah.
This is a very gettable card. Like if not crazy expensive. I think we all have 5s, don't we?
Yeah. This was my last purchase. So as far as this set goes. for
So you're not
registered.
purchasing anymore? You mean it's your most recent purchase?
My most recent purchase. my last, if you guys want to give me a few of your cards.
Okay.
I'm surprised his rookie's not in the set. 51 Bowman.
I am too, actually. But I think 51 Bowman had enough. You know?
Yeah.
How many more? But of course, Nellie Fox in this picture has this big old chaw in his mouth, which is consistent. Next up, 54 Bowman, Mickey Charles Mantle.
I've grown on this card now. I really like this card. The pastel colors in the back is just really nice.
I have this in a 3.
I do as well. I have a 3 too, or 3 also. I better not misspeak. I have a 32 grade. It's better than a 10. It's 3 times. Okay, now I'm getting into my Frankenstein-ness on my side because on my 54 Bowman Ted Williams, I've got a SGC 1.5.
So I have a 3.
Whoa.
I'll trade you my SGC 1.5 for your PSA 3. You want to do that trade?
You might have to lay a couple cards down by yours.
Dang it. But this is one of those that's got my 1.5 is gorgeous, but it's got a little mark, almost like it had a paper clip on it at one point. And,
right.
But you have to when you have to turn the card 1,000 ways in the sun, to make it show up, it doesn't take away from it, really.
Right.
Love that. Great card, by the way. And it's such a lot of these cards are in here because they have some hobby significance. And that one's certainly
got a big story to it. Yep.
Sure does.
And if you don't know that story, we'll tell you some other time. But we're trying. Next up is Willie Mays, 1954 Bowman. Not my favorite Mays, honestly. I don't know what about it I don't like, but I'm not crazy about it. But it's cool that we all three have that one. I've got it in a 4, so
I got it too.
Again, long ago, when you've been doing a set for 13 years or whatever, you have to go like, man, how long ago did I get that? This one I've owned forever too. The next one, Edwin Duke Snyder, 1954 Bowman.
I got this in a 6.
So does Ray.
Yeah.
And I got a 5. So I do it's so many Willie, Mickey, and the Duke, different year. 52 Bowman, all 3 of them are in there. 54 Bowman, all 3 of them are in there. Pretty slick. All right, we're 54, and then we get to 54. We're still rolling through 54. If we're going alphabetical order, this one's next.
I love this card.
The 1954. Oof. I can't believe you don't have this, Ray.
I got it. It's definitely on my short list, without a doubt.
That should be card just next year.
Pops. This card just pops.
Yeah, it's pretty gorgeous. And what's so cool about Musial doesn't have. He had a 53 Bowman. This is his real only mainstream 54 card because he wasn't in Bowman or Topps. And again, wouldn't appear in Topps until 58 All-Star card, right? That would actually be his first Topps card.
That's the first Topps card.
The fact that you can get a 54 card with Musial is pretty awesome. And the Red Hearts are just amazing. It's surprising to me that that's the only Red Heart. I would have thought the Mantle Red Heart would be in there.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Dandy Potato Chips Red Heart or Mantle. There's some other things that I think could be in there that I'm just surprised aren't. And those are the cards that come into mind instantly for me. How about 54 Topps? There's, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 54 Topps cards represented, which is a lot. Let's start with card number 1 again. Splendid Splinter, Ted Williams. And this is just, it's a great card. Which Williams card do you like better, Ray? Number 1 or number 250, which we'll get to later?
I'm going to say the 250.
Okay. I like number 1 better only because the 250 they used again and again and again, right? It was in 56 Topps. It was, it was 55 and 56. They used the same image as 250. So the 51's just unique, I guess. 54 Topps, keep going with that. How about Jackie Robinson 54 Topps?
That's a beautiful card.
Love the yellow on this. Just a great card. Man, I'm glad I bought all these a long time ago. So glad. But Ray, you went through a time where you actually sold some of yours off and then, started getting back into it. What made you do that?
I had some expenses come up a bit in 2019, and I think there's only 2 cards left that I have to get back. So fortunately, thank God, I was able to get like 95% of my cards back. And is the next one the one of the 2? No, coming up though.
Next one is
yep,
one of the first of the trifecta of awesome rookie cards in 54 Tops. It's the Ernie Banks. Such a tough card, centering wise, although the white border helps make it less noticeable, right?
Right.
But
the card that I have here is pretty typical because that the Ernie Banks part looks like it's getting cut off on a lot of these cards.
Yeah, you rarely see them the other way, right? Where
right.
You almost never see where there's more border at the top, which don't know why, but that just seems to be true. Okay. Oh, the second of the great rookies.
Yeah, this is the one I have to one of my last 2 I have to get back.
54 Tops.
My favorite all-time card.
Mike, yours is a big card, right? Yours is like in a 4?
A 3.
3. Okay.
But I paid $1,000 for this.
I remember that.
And I must have looked at 100. It was at one of the nationals. I want to say 2018. And Mr. Eric, those back pages, your good friend and mine, helped me find this one. I bought it before.
Never
the show even opened on Wednesday. I bought it.
Never a bad day to buy a Hank Aaron rookie.
Didn't you say, Mike, that the guy had it under his table? He had it.
So he had it behind his table in another case, like, hey, he had several out in his display case, but they were like 6s and 7s. And I'm like, man, I really, if you only had a 3, I might be your guy. And he goes, well, hold on. And he pulled out like 3 or 4 more. And this ultimately, because of its centering, and the 54s are a lot of cards are, but 54 especially, the snow, if you have snow on the face, or because the portrait's so big that snow really shows up, right? And on any of the cards. And so I wanted one without snow. I didn't really care about the corners. Centering was kind of important, but to me, registration is so vital to a card looking good.
Right. I agree.
So here's another interesting one that people are like, why is that in there? I don't know. But Tommy Lasorda, 54 Tops rookie card. This is one of those that's, a pretty gettable card. Honestly, of all the 54 Topses, this is probably the least expensive. Well, maybe not. We're getting to one that's the next one's probably even less expensive. But Tommy Lasorda rookie. I don't know that this deserves to be in there. There's other cards I would put in here over this one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure why Lasorda's in there neither.
I mean, great manager, no doubt. He was a very mediocre player, but great manager.
They sent him down to make room for Koufax. So.
Yeah. All right, next up, we're down to our final 5 cards for this session, and we've got the O'Brien brothers, Ed and John O'Brien. This was one of those cards when I saw it, I had to go learn about these guys. I'm like, why is this card in there? And I think just because of its quirkiness, right? I mean, you've got these twin brothers, both playing for the Pirates, and they're identical twins, and they're just sitting there with the Pirates logo. Like, this is just a cool card, right?
It is a nice card, yeah.
It's different. It's unique. They were the, double play combination for the Pirates.
Yep.
In 1954. So very easy card to, cheap card, relatively speaking. All right. The last of the 3 great rookies in 54 Tops is next. And that is the gorgeous Al Kaline. This is one of those cards that I don't know if you guys will agree with me. This is very underrated in the hobby.
Oh God. Yeah.
This card, this 54 Tops Kaline, because what a great career, right? Mr. Tiger.
3,000 hit club.
Is it
youngest
red
guy,
or
I think.
Orange?
Mine looks orange to me.
I'm going to say orange.
I think it's orange too. But mine's more red than like compared to like yours, Ray, or it's just the toning, right, can be slightly different on each
Yeah.
one. But I still think the color just pops on that card. Very underrated card. Like of the three, his is certainly the least expensive between Aaron Banks and him. And then the bookend, Ted Williams, the last one of 54 Tops, card number 250. Again, you'll see that mugshot the next year and then the next year. So but it's still a great card. And I love the 54 Tops design, right? I love the Red Sox logo.
Mm-hmm.
Like like you said earlier, Chris, when you put them all out next to each other and you lay them all out, the varying color, they just look so cool together, don't they?
They do. And I wonder if the kids that got those cards back in the day, if they appreciated the fact that Ted Williams was in that set twice.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to do today, but I don't know what the kids thought back then. It'd be interesting to know.
I got this at the National in Atlantic City last year.
Nice. I love the back of this card because it's all cartoons. And it even has a little blurb at the top. It says, hey, seek Topps card number 1 for biography and official baseball statistics. So
how cool is that?
It's just all cartoons. It's like looking at the backs of these all the cartoons, like especially on 54 Tops, do not dismiss the backs. Like take a look at them. They're pretty neat. All right, we've got 2 more cards. They're from a oddball set, right? The Wilson Franks. There's 2 of them represented in the 300 great cards. The first one is Campy, Roy Campanella.
Oh, nice.
This was actually a Las Vegas purchase. I went to the industry summit and there was a card show going on and I bought this card. I bought it actually with money I'd won at the casino. So it really didn't cost me anything. And a guy had it and I went and won the money and then came back and bought the card and just so glad to own it. Hard card to find, honestly.
Love the hot dogs on there.
Oh yeah. How can you not? But this is not a card you see a lot, honestly.
No, of the 2 from the Wilson Franks in this set, that's the tougher one.
Yeah.
Definitely the more rare.
Well, Campy's teammate is also represented in the Wilson Franks card here, and that's the Gil Hodges.
This is on my short list I'm watching. That's a great card.
Now a Hall of Famer. So
yes, yeah. Surprised that Ted Williams is not in this set with the 54 Wilson Franks. Ted Williams.
I totally agree with you, Ray. That great point. I mean, that's such an iconic card. The white background. I mean, we can all see the 54 Wilson Franks Ted Williams in our heads because it's such a cool card. I'd love to own it just to own it. Like I just want to have it because it's awesome.
It's a great looking card. Beautiful card. Probably my favorite Williams, more than the Rook.
So that's 50 through 54. We've gone through that. If you were to look back now and say, okay, of the cards you don't have in that 50 cards that we just kind of went through, what's the one that you think is the easiest for you to get at this point?
Good question. Easiest of that, I would say, is the Pafko.
Okay. 52 Tops. All right.
Yeah. Getting kind of tough, getting tougher for me. Probably that Gil Hodges that you just showed would probably be the easiest. Yeah, because the ones we didn't show collectively was, I believe, the Mantle, 52 Tops Mantle, even though I showed my fake one, and then the Jackie Robinson. Right? Is that the only 2 we did not have collectively?
Yeah, and I think for me of the 4, I need 4 of the 52 Tops is the Mantle, Mays, Matthews, and Jackie. Maybe the Jackie's the most. They're all $5,000 plus cards,
Yeah.
So I would guess the Jackie, but do y'all have a favorite in that group that we just showed, or maybe a couple that stand out to you?
Well, the 54 Tops Aaron for me is my favorite. That's a great card for me personally. I think that's my favorite all-time card for any card. Is the Aaron rookie.
Chris, what about you?
Mine probably is the 51 Mantle that it's probably it's my favorite card that I have to look at. You know, I get it out a lot with the Eddie Matthews because I know that a lot of times I show people cards, and you know, you get that very big question all the time. Hey, what's your most expensive card? And I try to tell them the story that Eddie Matthews is the most expensive rookie card, Topps rookie card in 1952, or the top post-war rookie card, right?
Hmm.
And that's a lot of people don't know who Eddie Matthews that I show cards to.
Right.
So what?
Yeah, they know,
which one?
they know me.
Which one of you is your favorite, Mike?
The 53 Roman color Pee Wee Reese, but everybody knows that's my favorite card of all time. But I honestly, I didn't even really know about that card until I started doing this set. Like that wasn't on my radar. And I'm so glad that once I got it and just looked at it, and I see other guys that have even better examples than mine. I bought a low grade one, again, cheap back in the day, but my favorite's it's got to be the Mantle rookie. I mean, when you have a card that's that big a deal, and it's not about the money, but to think that, again, when people ask me what's your most expensive card, and I show them that, and you know, you could buy a very nice car with it, you know, that's just kind of very unusual. I don't have many. I have almost no cards like that. Nothing anywhere close to that valuable card wise. And so I have some autographs that are pretty valuable, but card wise, that one's way up there, and it's way more than I've ever spent. And so it just kind of stands out for that reason.
Absolutely.
And it's a great card, right? So
there's a couple of these cards that I had and that I traded away within the last year, and really fought to get another sample back, because, you know, those mantles are achievable to people if they're rare. So you might be able, like I gave up a couple of cards, the Jackie Robinson, 54 Jackie Robinson, and you know, a couple other big cards to get a Hal Newhouser card that was, you know, that I wanted. And I knew it was going to be easier for me to get another Jackie Robinson, 54 Jackie Robinson back than it was for me to ever get that Hal Newhouser. But it was really hard when you're collecting a set, when you're going after a run like these 300 great cards. It's hard to peel one of those cards out of your collection to trade for another card. I mean, even the Kurt Bavacqua card, you know, you can get, but if somebody said, "Hey, I want that card today," then I got to get back in my book and I got to erase that number. I got to take that piece of tape off of there. Then I got to keep it quiet from Ray and you, Mike, that I now have 224 cards. And so I got to go get that back. And it's just so hard to peel one of the cards that you get a check off that you have.
It's like one of your children, you know, it's tough giving that away, isn't it? It's just unbelievable.
No, I like that Jackie Robinson more than my kids.
I do think about, you know, if I had to liquidate my collection, these would be some of the last cards I'd want to get rid of, are these 300 great cards, because I've been doing this set for so long, this project. It just feels ingrained in my hobby life. And again, I'm picking up, it's few and far between. I might get 1 or 2 cards a year for this set. It's not like I can go buy 10 of them, and that's okay. You know, you get to a point where, okay, I can't just, you know, spend, you know, my mortgage payment every week on a card. So we're in a lot of set registries, right? Yeah.
Post-war rookie Hall of Fame set registry, player run set registry, whatever. Is this your favorite set of all your set registries?
Ooh, I love the post-war rookie set a lot too.
Yeah.
And Chris, but yeah, probably. Because it's kind of where I started. So
it has a meaning, because this was the first set I started.
Yeah.
And then I went to post-war rookie was my second set, and then it grew.
Well, this is my fun. This is fun. My favorite is the post-war rookie, because that's going to keep growing. I have every one of them now.
Good point.
But it's there's going to be a different one for me to pick up next year and the year after, and probably.
And this is static, right?
Is still fun.
It's static. It's not going to grow. Although the last cards were through the 20th century, so 1990s, right? Now you could do the 2000s, the aughts and the 2010s at least.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool to kind of add on and okay, I don't know if you'd pick a number for each decade that you would limit it to so it doesn't get out of hand, but I don't want to wait another 100 years because I'll be long dead before we get the next version of this. But anyway,
but
guys,
this would be more fun for me, Mike, just because of the fact of the vintage stuff in it makes it more fun for me. And it was the other would be fun to keep it going, and just like the post-war Hall of Fame, but I won't have near as much fun doing that as I have doing this so far.
Yeah, it won't be as much fun getting an Adrian Beltre rookie once he gets in the Hall of Fame or whatever, right?
I got him just in case, and so do you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thanks so much. Everybody out there, if you enjoyed this, hopefully you did. Leave a comment. What cards did you like? What did you not like? What cards might be in there and shouldn't be in there? We'd love to hear your comments. Be just paying attention to Chris from Missouri's channel and Ray from Philly's channel, as we'll keep doing this every few weeks till we get through all the 300 cards that make up this set registry. So, any final thoughts, Ray?
No, it's just been a pleasure doing this set, and what's even more fun is you and I've been doing this along the journey together. So now we got Chris, so we got another member of this club. So it just makes it, it makes this even more fun for me, man. I love it. So
that's awesome.
This is
Chris,
awesome.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to be on here with you two. You guys were the first two that I got to watch, and I'm going to celebrate a year being on YouTube at the end of the month, and I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you two. So I really appreciate
cool.
what you do.
Well, Ray was my first YouTube friend. So
yeah. Back, they used to have an inbox, Chris. You could reach out to someone, message people on YouTube with an inbox.
Yeah.
They took that away around 2017. And I messaged Mike. I'm like, hey, you're doing the same. We're doing the same set. And that's how it just blew up, message in the inbox.
And I said, who is this crazy Italian dude? I'm an Irish guy in Texas. He's an Italian in Philly. It's like we should hate each other, but we don't. We're connected by cards. And
8 years.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching, coming along with us. Again, be looking for the follow-up videos as we keep going through this. We'll keep having fun showing you guys great cards. Thanks for watching. Keep collecting.